You ever doubted the mind body connection when it comes to chronic pain? Have you ever thought, I'm just too much of a realist? If so, this episode is for you. Hi, my friend, and welcome to Wellness by Design. I'm your host, Jane Hogan, the Wellness Engineer. And today I want to talk about something I hear a lot, and maybe you've even said it yourself. So, if you've ever considered yourself to be too much of a realist, to believe that there's any mind body connection, that your pain is anything but physical, then do yourself a favor and listen to this episode, and make sure you stay tuned until the end when I lead you through a little experience to help you experience and feel the mind body connection. All right, I'll see you inside. I've seen people in my program sometimes leave and they'll say, I'm just too much of a realist. And usually this comes up when I talk about how emotions and thoughts and past experiences can influence your body and create chronic pain. I'll hear someone say, that's great, Jane, but I'm too much of a realist to believe that stuff. Pain is physical. It's real. It's in my body. Have you thought that? I get it. I really do. Because that used to be me too. And I was trained as an engineer. It's all about logic, data, spreadsheets, solving problems with facts. I didn't come to this through a mind body world using crystals and candles. I came to this through pain, real body shutting down pain, terrifying pain, pain that no medication, no specialist, no test could fix. So, today I want to speak to the realist in you, the part of you that wants to believe in healing, but doesn't want to be fooled. I'm here to show you that realism, when it's grounded in truth and current science, actually supports the healing journey, your healing journey. All right. So let's talk about what being a realist really means. What does it mean to be a realist? Usually it's when someone says that they mean that they believe in what they can see, touch, and measure. They believe pain is purely physical, nerves, joints, inflammation, maybe a diagnosis like arthritis or fibromyalgia or a bulge disc, something like that. And listen, this is not wrong. Pain absolutely has a physical component. But the old model, the one that says pain is only physical, is just that. It's old, outdated, incomplete. Realism isn't about clinging to what used to be true. It's about being willing to update your view when new evidence comes along. That's what science is. Science is changes. And my friend, the evidence is here and it's so powerful. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about what the science really says. So science, as I said, is ever changing. It's always like following a model. So if you're a realist, I know that you love a good fact. There's something called central sensitization, and it's now understood to be a major factor in chronic pain. It means the brain and nervous system become more sensitive over time. Pain signals can be turned up even when there's no physical injury. This isn't woo woo. This is neuroscience. It's proven neuroscience. Studies show that people with chronic pain often have changes in how their brain processes information. The brain becomes overprotective, and emotional stress, especially long standing or repressed emotions, can contribute to this heightened state. And that doesn't mean that the pain isn't real. I really want to make sure you understand that. It means it is real and it's being generated by a nervous system that's trying to keep you safe based on past experience. There are even brain imaging studies that show chronic pain lighting up areas of the brain associated with emotion, memory, and fear, not just the sensory parts. In fact, there's a whole field of study called psychoneuroimmunology that looks at how our thoughts and emotions and nervous system affect inflammation, immune function, and healing. So if you're a realist, this is reality. It's the real reality. So being a realist means that you take into account what the new science is telling us. So when I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, I tried everything from anti-inflammatory diets to supplements to stress reduction. And those things helped a little. But the real shift happened when I started looking inward, when I made peace with buried emotions, when I regulated my nervous system with daily habits, when I began to believe I could heal, that's when the pain finally started to lift. But it wasn't overnight. I don't want to, it could be for some people, but for me, it took a little bit longer. But it was real. And now, years later, I'm living proof of what is possible. So I don't want you to ignore the emotional component. So the hard truth is that if you cling to the idea that pain is only physical, you may be unintentionally blocking your healing. You may keep chasing diagnoses, trying procedures, changing doctors, all the while missing the most powerful root cause of all, your nervous system. And I say that with so much love because I've seen it again and again with myself, with my clients, with my students, and now I would say probably thousands of people I've worked with through my programs and pain summits. Realism that only acknowledges what can be seen on a scan, which may not even be real, is not realism anymore. It's resistance. And that resistance creates stress, and stress reinforces pain. So let's talk about a new definition of realism. So, what does that mean? What does it mean to be a realist? A realist is someone who has the courage to face the full truth. And the full truth is this: you are not broken. Your body is not betraying you. Your pain is not permanent. The mind, body, and spirit are connected. That's not positive thinking. That's the design of your biology and your beliefs. They shape your biology too. So this isn't magic. It's the miracle of actually being human. And I would say that the fact that you've manifested pain is evidence of how powerful your mind is. Let's do a little exercise together now so you can experience the power of your mind and how it affects your physical body. So, first of all, just get comfortable where you are. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. So, if you are driving, then obviously pause this and come back to a time when you can relax and close your eyes. All right. So, first of all, before we begin, like for you to rate the pain you're experiencing out of 10. So it could be a particular area in your body. Maybe it's just an overall feeling. It doesn't really matter as long as you do the same thing before we begin and then afterwards. So 0 would be no pain at all. 10 would be the worst pain that you can imagine. All right. So let's get that number out of 10 and remember what it is. And now we'll start our practice. So just get really relaxed where you are. Close down your eyes if it feels safe to do so. But if you feel like you don't want to close your eyes, I know some people find that a little induces stress. So just let your eyes have a downward gaze, whatever works for you. Just begin to notice where you are, that you're supported. But first of all, I want you to think about a time when you were hurt. It could be a time when you experienced frustration. It could be a time when you felt like someone hurt you, you had a loss, a time when you were angry. I just want you to bring that to mind. Normally, I wouldn't say this, but for this exercise, I want you to bring that to mind now. So take yourself back there Get this situation, this experience in your head, this time when you may have felt frustration or anger or sadness or hurt, whatever it is, jealousy, one of those icky negative emotions. And now shift your awareness to your body. Where do you notice this in your body? And what do you notice? Do you notice a tightness? Do you notice a shrinking kind of feeling? Do you notice your shoulders rising up, tenseness in any of your muscles, contraction, heaviness? Do you notice your breathing getting a little bit more shallow or fast? Okay, all we wanted to do was notice that so that we can now shift your thinking to something else. So now we're going to come back to something positive and loving. So just scan your memories, find a time when you felt love. So this could have been with another person, with yourself, with a pet. It could be just imagining yourself feeling healed and doing something you love. So just bring this to mind now, this experience where you felt some love. All right. So just notice how good that feels. Shift to noticing it in your body. Where do you notice in your body this feeling? And what do you notice? Maybe you're feeling something in your heart, chest area. Does it feel like it's expanding? Do you notice that your muscles and body is relaxing? Do you notice that your breathing may be slowing down? Maybe you've even let out a spontaneous sigh or a yawn. Does it feel expansive, soft, light? All right, notice now how different that feels from the first thought that you had. So, what you're experiencing is a physical response to your thoughts. And now I'd like for you to gently open your eyes again. Welcome back. And let's go back to the pain again, rating it out of 10. So 0 would be no pain at all. 10 would be the worst pain. So go back to however you rated it before or what you rated before and rate that out of 10 again. So has it dropped? A lot of times people will notice a drop. Now, if you didn't notice a drop, it doesn't mean that you didn't have a response. It just means that it wasn't, maybe you need to do it a little bit longer to feel that response or more consistently. So you still had a response. If you felt a little bit of a relaxation, you still had a response. And again, if you didn't, it might mean that your nervous system is so, tense that it's going to take a bit more practice. And you can do this. It's simple. We just did a little practice and it's really simple. So I always have in this podcast, what's one thing you could do today? And I would say practice feeling a loving memory. Do that again today. See if you can stay in that feeling for at least 3 minutes. We did it pretty quickly here. Try this again today and notice, did you feel a shift? Every time you create these shifts, you're releasing pain in your body. So my friend, if you're someone who calls themselves a realist, I see you. I respect your desire to base your beliefs in what's real. But I hope this episode helped you see that the most real thing about pain is that it can change. Your thoughts can change the pain. If you're curious to explore this further, I invite you to check out my new book, Pain Free on Purpose, Use Your Mind to Heal Your Body and Get Your Life Back. You'll find the science, the stories, and the strategies to support you, no matter where you are on your journey. You'll find my 6-step design blueprint that's going to help you. So just go to the wellnessengineer.com/book to order the book, but also get access to bonus resources that are going to deepen your experience. And if this episode touched something in you, please share it with a friend or leave a review. It helps others find their way to healing too. So until next time, remember that you are the hero of your healing journey. And it starts by believing it's possible. All right, with love and possibility. Thank you so much for being here on Wellness by Design today. And I will see you in the next episode really soon. And I hope you enjoy reading my book. All right, take care, my friend.